These are 5 shocking moments that were caught on live television with video footage. From a natural disaster that was so powerful that it killed over 15,000 people, to the first time a specialist army group was seen in live action against terrorists. Number 1. A dream that turned into a disaster. A school teacher, Christopher McAuliffe, was chosen from 11,000 applicants to travel to space on the Challenger space shuttle. It was supposed to be one of the greatest achievements of the United States space program, where a civilian would have their dreams come true and go to space. On January 28, 1986, in front of millions of people on live television, and in front of an extremely excited live crowd that included their families and friends, the space shuttle took off. 73 seconds later, disaster struck and it exploded. Christopher McAuliffe and 6 other crew members unfortunately lost their lives on the Challenger. Could this disaster have been prevented? Many believe that the Challenger should never have been allowed to have taken off on that cold day on January. The launch of the Challenger was delayed 5 times in 6 days for weather and mechanical issues. The night before, the temperature decreased into its 20s, much colder than anticipated. The temperature was so cold that ice had built up on the launch pad. This caused great concern within NASA, some believing that disaster was inevitable, but the launch was still given the go-ahead. Due to the cold, the pressure seal in the field joint of the right solid rocket motor failed to work as it should have done, resulting in the space shuttle exploding. Number 2. The year was 2011 when disaster struck Japan, an underwater mega earthquake measuring a monstrous 9.0 magnitude on the Richter scale. The force of the earthquake caused widespread damage on land in Japan and initiated a series of large tsunami waves. Here is the chilling footage of the huge waves that wiped out towns in Japan, resulting in over 15,000 people dying. Most of the deaths were caused by drowning. Just to show you the magnitude of the damage the waves caused, the total cost of the damage was roughly around $300 billion. Number 3. On September 11, 2001, a day that changed the course of history. It was just like any normal morning in New York. That was until a plane hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center at 8:46 AM. As black smoke coming from the North Tower filled the air, a second plane was caught on live television hitting the South Tower at 9:03 AM. Tragic scenes continue to be captured on live television, such as employees working at the Trade Center jumping out the windows to their death, just to escape the fire and smoke. 2,977 people tragically died from the 9/11 attack. The attack changed the world from increased security at airports to immigration to even domestic spying laws that got passed after the 9/11 attacks. Number 4. Now most of you would have heard of the SAS, the Specialist Regiment of the British Army. Well, back until 1980, the Special Forces was kept out of the public eye. That was until the Iranian embassy siege was caught live on the national news. This was the first time the public were able to witness the SAS in action. 6 armed terrorists stormed into the embassy and took 26 hostages. For 6 days, the embassy was taken over by terrorists, from the 30th of April 1980 until 5th of May. On the 6th day, the gunmen got frustrated as their demands were not met. They killed one of the hostages and threw his body out of the window. As a result, the government called in the SAS, and here's what happened. The SAS saved all of the hostages, except for the one that was killed, and they shot 5 of the 6 terrorists. Number 5. Rolando Mendoza, a former Philippine national police officer, claimed they had been unfairly dismissed from his job and demanded that he should get a fair hearing to defend himself. Well, on August 23, 2010, he decided to take matters into his own hands when he hijacked a tourist bus that had 20 passengers on it. 10 hours later, the negotiations that broadcast live on television broke down when the police arrested Mendoza's brother. Gunshots could then be heard inside the bus, where Mendoza tragically killed 8 passengers with several others injured. Eventually, the 90-minute gun battle finally ended when Mendoza was shot and killed. The investigation after the incident concluded that the poor handling of the situation from the Philippine police force caused the 8 hostages to be killed.